That's so good. That is so good.
What's up, Big Steve?
Hey Noah, man, how long you been there?
Yeah, man, I've been here for a while and I really don't get why you're still there.
The museum? Like, you've never been to a museum, man?
Yeah, bro, of course I've been to a museum. I just don't get why you're at this weird, really weird art museum.
Well, this isn't like fully an art museum. This is an art exhibit. This museum actually has just a ton of stuff. I mean, art, fossils, as you could see. Like, it's got a lot of cool stuff.
Okay, bro, touche, but I just don't get why you're spending so much time in that one exhibit. There's so many other exhibits. Why that one?
Bro, have you seen the art here? It's gorgeous, man. It is incredible.
Big Steve, there's absolutely no way that you think that that artwork could be incredible. Bro, anybody could do that.
Anybody can do what, Noah?
Check this out. Boom! Look at that, man. See, I told you, bro. Anybody can do that.
Man, I'm not saying that is nowhere near as good as this, because I really believe that art is really in the eye of the beholder and the artist, but are you saying that piece of art is as good as this art?
Big Steve, what I'm saying is, give me a couple of weeks or so, and I could definitely turn this art into that art.
All right, man, but it's not always all about the art. I mean, this stuff tells a story.
Yeah, obviously, cat, that's a cat, that's a cat, of course. But all of these artists love cats. Yeah, that's the story. Brilliant. Whoopity-doo.
No, all of these are cats. That's actually true. How many artists do you think that all of these represent?
I don't know, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, man. 6, 7, maybe 8.
Noah, check this out. All of these were painted by the same guy. And that's what's so incredible is the art tells a story on the canvas, but it also all tells the story about this artist's life.
Hold on, Big Steve. All of that is the same artist?
Yeah, dude, that's what's so incredible. The art over on this side actually started out when he first started painting. And then as we progress over here, he started getting more and more into his career.
Bro, that's actually kind of cool. It's really kind of crazy.
It is crazy, Noah. And I feel like the artist that painted this, even though it was the same guy that painted the one over here, there's no way that he could have painted that because it was a completely different time in his life. It's just like the stories of Jesus.
Hold on. What do you mean it's just like the story of Jesus? The story of Jesus, anybody could apply to their whole life.
No, that's absolutely true, Noah. But what I mean is, like, if you read a story, like, you know, the time when he was at the wedding at the beginning of his ministry, that same story could have never happened at, like, say, Easter time.
Okay, Big Steve, I want to make something very clear with you right now. Okay, very clear. I know exactly what story you're talking about the wedding. And I know exactly why it couldn't have happened at Easter time. But I'm sure that everybody else watching has no clue what you're talking about. So why don't you just explain it to all of us and I'll listen, even though I definitely already know what you're talking about.
All right, Noah. Yeah, the story at the wedding, it's actually known as Jesus' very first miracle.
Whoa! His very first miracle like ever? Or his very first miracle like in that book of the Bible?
Great question, Noah. And no, like his very first miracle ever.
Big Steve, you have got to tell me now, bro. Just tell me the story.
Yeah, Noah, so like check it out. So this story takes place like after Jesus kind of walked around and got some of his disciples. So he's actually at a wedding.
What? Who got married? That's so cool.
I don't actually know. I assume maybe one of his cousins or somebody in his family because it says like his mom and aunties and uncles and then he brought his disciples along.
Oh, okay, so just some mystery person's wedding.
Yeah, so he's at the wedding and he's hanging out and they like completely ran out of drinks for everyone.
What? So how are they supposed to wash down all that dry bread they used to eat back then?
Unleavened bread, yeah. That's a good question. So like they're hanging out and Jesus' mom comes up to Jesus and she's like, hey, Jesus, like there's no more juice left for everyone to drink. And then Jesus was like, Mom, why are you bothering me with this type of stuff? My time hasn't come yet.
Hit the brakes. What does he mean his time hasn't come yet?
Yeah, that's a little bit of foreshadowing, I think. And a foreshadow is kind of like when he's kind of telling us about something that's going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So Jesus already knows he's obviously God, and he came down to earth. He's got all his disciples, and he knows he's about to do some incredibly great things. But the time isn't right yet. His disciples aren't trained. Maybe his disciples don't really truly believe that he is God. They just think he's a really good teacher at this point. So what he's saying to his mom is like, my time's not come yet. I can't go and do miracles. I can't preach. Like, my time's not now, but God will do stuff through me later.
Okay, Big Steve. So he said that with like 4 simple words? That's actually really cool. So what does mom say?
His mom was like, whatever, bro. We got no more juice left. And then she turned and looked at like all the people that were helping at the wedding. They were like, whatever this guy says, just do it. All right, all you workers, like you see all those vats over there, those big containers, those big empty water jugs.
All right, cool. Were they like plastic jugs or like what were they?
No, Noah, they didn't have plastic back then, but the Bible does say that they were big stone containers, and they probably held anywhere from 20 to 30 gallons each.
Goodness gravy, that is huge. The plastic jugs only hold like 5 gallons. That is insane. That must have been so much water.
Yeah, Noah, 20 to 30 gallons each, and they were completely empty. So Jesus says, take them down, fill them up with water. So the people, they take these containers. I assume there was a lot of people, or like they took them one at a time. I'm not really sure because they were so big, but they took them, fills them to the brim, to the tippy top of water, and they come back and they're like, all right, what now, Jesus? And Jesus was like, great question. Take these that are filled up with water and bring it to the guy who's hosting the wedding.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Jesus tells all the workers, hey, go fill up these big containers with water, and then all he says is to bring the water to the guy who's hosting the party. That's all he says. Big Steve, I'm not gonna say that this miracle was lame, but I am gonna say that I really think Jesus had some cooler stuff that he's done.
No, that's not the miracle. The miracle comes after that. So they take the big vats of water and they bring it down, and the guy looks at it and he fills up a cup and he takes a sip on it and he's like, wow, this is the best juice I've ever had in my entire life.
Time out. You said water and now you're saying juice. Big Steve, are you sure you know this story, man? What do you mean juice?
Yeah, that's the miracle, bro, is they had this water, which may or may not have been safe to drink because the containers were actually meant for like ritual cleansing that the Jewish people would do. But when the guy takes a drink out of it, it was the best juice he'd ever had in his life. So Jesus took this water and then turned it into grape juice, and the best grape juice that ever happened. So everybody's like, whoa, what did Jesus do? And the disciples, it says that they knew from that moment on that Jesus was who he said he was.
So are you saying that before this, the disciples didn't even know who Jesus was?
No, I'm not saying that, but I am saying that Jesus had shown no signs that he was actually God up until that moment. So up until that moment, he could have just been another guy who was a really good teacher. But after that miracle, the disciples specifically witnessed in person Jesus doing something that wasn't possible for humans to do.
Okay, so they may not have believed, but after they definitely saw Jesus do something that was impossible. So now, how could they not believe?
That's right, Noah, and that's what I'm saying. This miracle wasn't the greatest miracle ever if you look at some of the other miracles that Jesus did. I mean, he rose people from the dead. He himself rose from the dead before. He healed people. Like, he did incredible things. And if you take this story, if you take this miracle and put it at the end of Jesus's life, it doesn't happen, but it happens here. Just like this art, man. This artist absolutely could not have painted this painting at this point in his life, but it tells the story. It makes it complete. So when you're looking at the whole gallery, you're getting to see the entire life of this artist.
Oh, wow. That kind of gives me a new appreciation for this art gallery. This painting might not be the coolest thing all by itself, but when you put it all together, and you look at all of them and how they happened, man, this painting is awesome. It's beautiful, wonderful.
That's right, Noah. Like, this miracle that Jesus did, it's nowhere near as cool as, say, when he raised Lazarus from the dead, and when he healed people, and when he made people that couldn't walk for the first times in his life. All of those are incredible. And this one, it was like, some people were thirsty. But without this miracle, we don't have the rest of Jesus's life. And from the very beginning of his ministry, we see that Jesus is miraculous.
What? Bro, that is absolutely incredible. That is so cool.
I know, Noah. And you know what? That is so incredible. I think that is going to be today's big idea. Everybody stand up and let's do this big idea with Noah.
What? I get to do it? Man, that's so awesome. I need everybody to stand up with me. Come on, this story about Jesus was so awesome and about his miracles. Man, I just can't get over it. And that's why today's big idea is Jesus is miraculous. Let's say it all together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jesus is miraculous.
Miraculous.